everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Alyssa. Thank you for coming back. And if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe now. Yeah, that's all. Now onto the video. The drink of this video, by the way, is just water from Chick-fil-A because I need to be more hydrated, and I also don't have any new teas at the moment. Oh, and there's birds drinking water from our pool. So everybody's being hydrated today. Today we're not going over a book because right now I'm reading Trump Strategies for Real Estate, and there's so much in this book. Honestly, it's like the 10x review and everything. I was doing it and there's just so much information that I really couldn't fit it all into one video. The specific part we're going over on this book, which is the title of this video, is Principal Rules of Negotiation. So this book was not written by Trump. This was written by someone who worked with him. But these are like the things that he had observed from him. So let's go. Number 1, create an aura of exclusivity. These are also things to look out for whenever other people do negotiations with you. So something to keep in mind. But there's an aura of exclusivity. So just an aura of, just being higher up and just being, like that, I don't know, just like this vibe pretty much of this is better than anything else that you could ever get. That aura of exclusivity. So the notes under that are embellishment on what you have, because it's not about how many people you have to pitch it to, it's about how you pitch it to those people. So you could be pitching to like 2 people and each time you want to go ahead and give them a pitch like you were giving it to like a room of 5,000 or something, and just that's not a room, that's like a baseball stadium, but you want to go ahead and give that pitch to them and make them see what you see in that area, in that future real estate thing. You're making this deal with someone and you want to make them feel comfortable with you as well too, so you want to be sure to go ahead and include incentives and everything for them. Later on in the book he talks about whenever you so you know how there's like, a punishment for if you miss the deadline? He talks about creating an incentive to finish before the deadline, because people will work harder to go ahead and get more money for something before a deadline rather than, the pain of the thing afterwards. They want to experience pleasure rather than pain. So they're going to do what they can to avoid pain, but sometimes it's just inevitable. Sometimes you just want to go ahead and make sure that you have the incentive and everything first so they can go ahead and work towards that. And that is something that they will 100% work towards. It also reminded me of something that Chris Voss said whenever he was talking about, okay, well, if you don't finish it by this day, I'm going to call you and curse you out, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, like that's cool, but you're going to attract more flies with honey and more honeys being fly. Rule number 2, don't be misled by the aura of legitimacy. So this is whenever you're going to sign a contract or you have a, something that you need to go over and everything. And, on the thing it says, like standard contract for blah, blah, blah. Every single contract can be negotiated, and everything I think should be negotiated. You shouldn't just be like, okay, let's, this is what it is and let's go ahead and sign off on it now, which actually goes into another rule, but we're going to get to that in a second. So pretty much whenever he's talking about don't be misled by the aura of legitimacy, he was saying every contract is negotiable, like I just said, and you create the aura that you want. So you want to go ahead and, like in the previous thing, create the aura of exclusivity. They're trying to go ahead and do that for you, not for you, but like to you, I guess, as well, to make sure that you think this is as good as it gets. But this is where like these things sound like contract. So you want to go ahead and make sure that, the deal is as good as it gets for the other person, and they're just like, okay, let's do it. But you, whenever you're signing a contract and you're making this deal, also want to make sure that you are indeed getting the best thing for your money, like the best deal for your money. You don't want to be misled by the aura of legitimacy. Everything is negotiable, everything can be changed, and everything probably will being changed. Rule number 3, every negotiation requires pre-planning. He's saying each communication is a negotiation. So every time that you talk with a person, that is a negotiation of a deal that is to come, or negotiation of a contract that is to come. You want to be more prepared than the other person is whenever you go into there, because then you're going to be walking out with okay, if you're more prepared than the other person, you are going to walk out with the better end of the deal. He's saying, like there's no way that you can over-plan something. I mean, there's such thing as, like overthinking something, but whenever it comes to planning, you want to go ahead and make sure that everything, You want to go ahead and make sure that you have all your eggs in your basket. You know exactly what you're doing, what you're planning out and everything for this negotiation, so that whenever the contract time comes, it's all done. You don't have to worry about them asking, you know, like, oh, well, hey, what about if we did this? And then you being like, oh, let me crunch numbers and get back to you. You want to go ahead and be like, well, I already accounted for that situation, and this is why we should, or this is why we shouldn't do that. And here's all the things. You want to go ahead and be sure that you're going into every single aspect of really life prepared, because you're just going to come out better. What's the quote? Fail to plan, you plan to fail. Pretty much is what this rule is. So, rule number 4 is avoid a quick negotiation, which is kind of what I was talking about number 2. So, it says if the buyer offers another person and accepts quickly, they both kind of feel like off about it. They're like, wait a second, like that happened way too fast. If you've seen Ready Player One, there's that scene where he's talking about, you know, well, what are you going to go ahead and charge to go ahead and do the bounty for this person? And he says 3 times my normal rate. And the guy goes, done. And he's like, wait, I didn't know you were going to accept that fast. How about 5? Is 4 still on the table? Like, that's how people kind of feel whenever there's something done super, super fast like that. And it's like the first offer that's there, you just go and take it. Not always the best option. So you want to go ahead and be sure that, you know, both of y'all kind of go back and forth. And so you start with a number and then they start with a number, and you just kind of go back and forth until you meet in the middle. And it's a number that both of y'all have agreed on and are happy with because y'all both negotiated it. And it's something that you kind of came into mutual agreements with. Pretty much you need that back and forth banter for both of y'all to kind of feel better about the deal. Also with that, the more questions asked, the more you have to negotiate with towards the end as well. So I was watching a video that Dan Lok was doing, and he was saying that the reason that they can't do something is the reason that they should do something. They were also saying that in this book as well too. But, you know, find out whenever they say, you know, like, well, I need to go ahead and do my research. Ask, well, what are you hoping to find in that research? And if they're saying, well, I'm wanting to see, you know, like if, you know, blah, 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 like this would work in this market, blah, 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 stuff like that. Then you can say, okay, let me go ahead and show you why it will work in this market and different things like that. And the 5th and final tip is the investing time principle. So pretty much along with, you know, like planning and everything as well too, you need to go ahead and make sure that all of the time that you invested in here is worth it. So what was he saying? He was saying neither of you want to go ahead and throw away a good deal. Honestly, because both of y'all spent a lot of time on it. And a lot of people kind of have this fallacy whenever it comes to personal relationships and everything as well too. So this is my opinion separate from the book real quick. So pretty much like it doesn't matter how much time you spend on something. If it's trash and move on to the next thing. Now onto what the book was saying. A lot of people will spend a lot of time on something and they don't want to see all of that time just gone to waste. So they'll do what it takes to go ahead and get that deal and do what they came to do pretty much. So that investing time principle is that nobody wants to have wasted time. Everyone wants to feel like, you know, their time was best utilized and everything. So that is what that principle is. Just making sure that both of y'all come into agreement on this deal. And that is the video. So I hope y'all found these tips useful. And if you want me to do a whole review on this book, let me know, because it's actually really, really good. And a lot of this is on negotiation and some real estate. Well, a lot of it is real estate, but it's like a lot of negotiation and real estate kind of things in here. But I just found this book very interesting. Yeah, that is all for this week. And next week we will go over another new book. See y'all later, guys. Bye.